Hi guys, welcome to my third vlog. I am going to be talking this week about travel, my past experiences going to different countries, different continents, and I'm going to give you my 5 top tips for diabetics when traveling. So this first country here that I'm showing is Ethiopia. I travelled there in 2013 and 2014, going out there to help organise the Great Ethiopian Run, Africa's largest road race. Before arriving in Ethiopia, I had to get a set of vaccines. I had to get typhoid, Hep A and B, and yellow fever. I also had to be aware of the altitude in Ethiopia. It's almost 2,500 meters above sea level, so real reduced air pressure, and it led to various hormones being able to respond differently to adapt to that situation. And then from that, as a diabetic, it can cause spikes after you've eaten food. These clips are now from New Zealand and Australia from 2016 coming into 2017. I really had to think about the time zone coming into these countries, as it was a 9.5 hour difference going ahead of the UK. So I had to make sure that my insulin pump and my glucose monitoring machines had changed their time for when I arrived, so that I was ready to go with my setup. Here I am now in America on my sports camp in Pennsylvania, looking after children 24 hours a day, so it's really important for me to make sure that my blood sugars were good, not just during the day but in the evening as well. Always being on the road and travelling, you do get carried away of how many calories and how much energy you burn per day. So just be wary of your sugar levels, ensure that you're eating the right amount of food, ensure that you're staying hydrated at all times, because the last thing you want when you're on vacation or travelling is to fall sick. So that was a roundup of my 4 countries that I went to the last few years. Before I went to every country, I had to make sure that I was carrying a letter from my doctor, basically to say that I am a type 1 diabetic, I do use Rapid insulin, I don't have any other current medical conditions, and I use the Animas pump. These are my supplies. Because you've got that letter, officers can then take a look at it, and you're basically granted, you're allowed to take all your medication and your supplies into whatever country you're wanting to go into. You go through airport security, you mustn't take your insulin pump through the scanner, you mustn't take your blood glucose monitor either through the scanner. So disconnect it from you, tell the officer that's there that you carry an insulin pump and it can't be then taken through. They will then scan it individually, and then you yourself can walk through the scanner without any issues. Just remember the time zones, remember the climate conditions, remember that you need to really think about your foods and staying hydrated. Also, before you take off and depart for your journey, you need to calculate the amount of supplies, pump supplies, how many needles, the amount of medication that you're going to need to carry through the whole of the trip. So for example, if I change my pump set every 3 days and I'm going for 30 days, I'm going to need 10 lots of those pump sets, 10 lots of the infusion sets, the tubes, the cannulas, the syringes. But also I would advise taking 10 to 20% extra on top of that, just in case one of them goes wrong, in case you lose any, things like that. So my 5 top tips for you guys when you're traveling as a diabetic are: number 1, calculate the supplies that you need, the amount of insulin that you need, the amount of supplies for your pump that you need, the amount of needles you need, and add 10 to 20% extra on top of that, just in case anything go wrong or they get stolen or you lose them. My second tip is to be wary. So be wary of time zones, be wary of climate, be wary of altitude. You have to understand that sugar levels can be affected from stress, from exhaustion, from dehydration, from excitement. So you have to take all of these factors into consideration and just make sure that you're wary all the time that your sugar levels are going to go up and down for the first few days. My third tip is packing and luggage. I would always advise, and your doctor and your diabetic specialist will always tell you to put your insulin and your medication in your hand luggage on the plane. Do not put it underneath, it will freeze and you won't be able to use it, it's ruined. Also with packing, if you're traveling with someone else, give them some of your supplies, because if your bag goes missing, if it gets stolen, or something like that, at least then you've got supplies in your friend's bag to back you up. So tip number 4 is to prepare for sickness. Hopefully, God forbid, you don't fall sick when you're traveling, but always ensure that if this is to happen, you know exactly what to do. My 5th tip is not to be scared about traveling. Diabetes isn't an excuse for you not to go anywhere, not to try anything new. It's an excuse for you to overstep that barrier and challenge yourself with new adventures and new tasks and really enjoy what the world has to offer. Never use diabetes as an excuse. We've been given the challenge with this condition to live our lives. Take the challenge, take it head on, smash it, and lead your life as positively as possible. So I hope you've enjoyed my video of travel. I hope that you're going to take my 5 tips away with you when you next go on holiday or vacation or your next journey. If you've got any questions, please comment below. Thank you very much for everyone's support. Thank you for watching. Adios.